So our school lunch is just to say that you fed the kids and get back to school, and yet we're still stupid. We don't get that much time to eat. We spend all this time in school, and we're still stupid. So school fights happen either at lunchtime or after school.
But your schools are like jails.
Yeah, we already acknowledge that, okay? Hola, mi amigos. Lo siento. ¿Cómo dices in advance? I'm sorry in advance. Porque yo tengo un video de Estados Unidos y sobre la comida de colegio.
Solo espero que la gente haya comido antes de ver este video. Porque si lo ven antes, o sea, si lo ven antes de comer, no vais a comer hoy.
Lo siento, pero es perfecta para ti. Porque yo quiero ver tu reacción.
¿Qué es eso?
School lunch.
Ya, pero ¿qué es?
I don't know what the hell that is, because...
¿Eso no es yogur? ¿Trix?
Sí.
Oh my God. ¿Eso que se supone que es Nesquik? Oh, qué asco.
I just want to show you what's being served at school today.
Ese jamón está... ¡Ay!
That happens when the chocolate milk gets frozen.
¿Por qué?
Because it's too cold. So the food has, like, magnesium in it?
¿That's chicken nuggets?
Yes.
That's cement nuggets. Ay, madre.
Okay, vale.
Okay, one question. So who is in charge of approving? Because I've seen the school lunches in the U.S. are prepared in school, usually.
Yo creo es normal, es normalmente en el colegio,
Sí.
pero
vamos a ver. You went to school over there.
yes. And
Is this something that you experienced? Like, is this just done for like the attention of the Instagram and the TikTok and the YouTube, or es de verdad?
See, the thing is, our school lunch is an experience.
Okay.
So, and the experience is different. Like the food, yes, there's been times where we get some weird stuff in our food, and our food looks crazy like that, and we just don't eat it. We just take it back to the lunch lady, as
And
we
then
call
you
it,
get something.
and we get the same dish, just better. Okay, so here's the thing. Like I said, it's an experience. I don't know how school lunch is done here, but for us, and now looking at this made me think about my times at school. So it's the noise that you go, you got the noise. It's always like a whole like kind of stadium.
Oh
kind
yeah,
of feeling.
kids are loud.
Right,
so
we're
it's
all loud.
normal. Yeah,
whatever.
here too.
But then, you got, I don't know if you do lunch lines. Do you do lunch lines?
A ver, I didn't stay for lunch in school because when I used to go to school, we had school in the morning and then we'll go home and then we'll come back to school.
You would go home?
Yeah, so I had ¿cómo se dice? Jornada partida.
Is this like the break when like people get...
School doesn't exist like that anymore, but I
Okay.
went to EGB. EGB is Education General...
Knowledge.
I don't know how to
Okay.
translate in English, but anyway, and that program, back in those times, we will go to school in the morning, part in the middle of the day, go back home, eat whatever, and then go back to school. Some kids will stay for lunch
So,
but I never stay, so I don't know. Now, what I can tell you is what I have seen. Because do you remember the video I sent you about the lady, the American lady that has kids here in Spain, and she's like, you're not gonna believe what they actually eat. They have a 3-course meal, so it's just like the menú del día
in school?
in school. Lentejas, pesca, merluza, arroz, verduras, fruta as a dessert, because I know that shocks you.
I'm getting hot already. I'm getting hot.
So again, I didn't get to go to school lunches
Right.
when it was my age, but what I have seen from Alicia that she tells me about it, they have regular meals like menú del día, but for kids.
So, but do you have like a process, like how you get your lunch or whatever? They just...
You just sit down. That I know, you just sit down in the table, And either they bring it to you or...
See, it didn't work like that for us. When I was in school, like we would go, you have your table, your long lunch table, and the class sits there, and then whenever it's your class turn, you get up and you get online, and then you go there, you get your tray.
Yeah, like they show in the movies. He visto eso en las
It's
películas.
literally like a prison lunch line. So you get your tray, and then
¿La bandeja es de metal?
no, plástico.
Ah.
Entonces, pasar que y lunch ladies put what's on there, and that's it. Some of those lunches, though, we be expecting them. Like, we looking forward to some of the lunches.
Sí, pero cuando es pizza y hamburguesa y
Yeah,
esas
but
cosas.
the thing is, too, like, we have to, and it has to be really quick because we only get like 20 minutes to eat our lunch, and then we go back to class.
So they indoctrinate you from an early age that you only have 20 minutes before you go back to your slavery.
It's just the thing. Like, you get your lunch, and then you got to scarf it down, and then you got to go back to class. That's just how it is. Like
Not here.
And it's supposed to be set up in a way where the first class that goes to get lunch, they go get their lunch, and then they go sit down and eat, and then the next class is calling. So by the time it gets to the end, that class is already leaving to get ready for
Yeah,
next.
so exactly like restaurants work in New York City.
Yeah, kind of like that.
So the thing here with lunches is that now, because we don't have that break in between the day, the kids that stay, they just stay because their parents are working or their grandparents are going to pick them up, and they don't pick them up after lunch. But after lunch, there's no classes. So there's no rush to go anywhere.
See, no, it doesn't, no.
So here you have your classes, blah, blah, blah. Then the end of the day, if you stay for lunch, you stay for lunch, and then your parents come pick you up at 3:30 or so.
New question.
A ver.
So do you ever have that kind of problem with like your school lunch? Like, something is in it, it's not cooked right. Do you ever have that kind of problem?
Not that I know.
See, that makes me so upset because our lunch a lot of times is just like that freezer stuff that you just heat up or whatever, and
I'm in disgust right now. I just want you to tell you
I'm so
because
sorry. But when I seen it, I was like, oh, that's bad, that's nasty. But I relived so many of those moments where I've had those issues, like the chocolate milk frozen just come out like slush, the crap that's
I
inside.
have never seen frozen milk like that in my life.
Yeah.
And I've seen frozen milk. Eso no es leche, eso es un químico o algo que se hace así.
Yeah.
Eso no es normal.
It happens a lot. Like, a lot. Like, I'm telling you, like, at least when you going to school, you have, like, at least 2 to 3 bad meals in the week.
Okay, so vegetables and fruits.
What's that?
Okay. But see, that, again, we have talked about this in other videos. This is why you guys don't take your kids out to eat, because if you don't even teach them, well, they don't even eat proper food. I don't know how you guys eat, like, those kids don't even have health insurance. So if they get poisoned, what, you sue the school?
Yeah, that'd be the thing to do.
But how do you know if you don't have proof? Unless now the kids take videos. Like, how would you know?
It's different now because of social media. Like, now we have a bunch of videos where kids can take videos of the food that they're being served. But those are the serious issues, and kids do get sick. I've gotten sick from school lunch before, numerous times. But
of course. But then who pays that bill? Because, like, health coverage is not for free for kids either.
No, health coverage isn't free. School lunch it is and it isn't free depending on the school you're going to. Like, sometimes.
So you pay for that?
Depending. Sometimes you have to pay like $1 or $2 for the school lunch. I forgot how it used to work.
So you pay to get poisoned.
When you put it like that. When you put it like that, it's just that normalmente es gratis, ¿vale? Es normalmente gratis. Pero algunos niños necesitan pagar para la comida porque no sé razón, pero es solo con un gobierno servicios.
Con los servicios del gobierno, vale.
Sí.
Ahora, otra pregunta que me surge a mí. Ahora que hay tantas alergias, people have tons of allergies,
sí,
especially in the U.S. Like, the first time that I heard about allergies was in the U.S. of being like celíaco and all these kind of things. So what happens with a kid that is allergic to nuts or to milk or to, like, do they cater menus for them?
If the kid is allergic to nuts, he should know, and he better eat nuts. That's just it. Porque nada más es importante en Estados Unidos, especialidad para los niños en el colegio, porque la comida es gratis. Entonces, ¿tú comes o no? Ya está.
Madre de Dios y madre de Dios.
I mean, obviously, este es porque colegios tiene un nurse en el colegio.
Sí, pero nosotros también tenemos enfermería en los colegios aquí.
You have them right here.
Claro.
Yeah, okay. So you have
Porque
school
si
nurse.
te caes o algo te tienen que poner
So
una
if you get sick,
tirita.
the nurse is there. She has all the stuff. I don't know if they even carry, those EpiPens or anything like that. I don't know. But it's not important. It's just that those are the things that we go through. And like when looking at it, there's also still the sense of nostalgia. I know I grew up with this. I am not proud of it, but it's the thing.
I feel nostalgia of getting poisoned in school and eating crap and magnetic things that attach me to a car when I walk by it.
Listen, again, we all know I come from a very poor neighborhood, right? So school lunch was, the thing where we can get some what we thought was fancy food when you couldn't have fancy food at home. So I'll get a burger, I'll get a hot dog, but there'll be this fish fillet sandwich that comes like it had cheese in it and everything. And I've never had anything like that in my life before. Obviously, it's very bad. I do not recommend
That might not be fish at all.
It might not. That became the discussion as I got older. If it was
It's like
really
going to
fish.
McDonald's and ask for a fish burger. That ain't fish.
Yeah.
En fin, I love that you say that because thanks to globalization and immigration, now in Spain we get to try different flavors of food. And that brings me to the product of the week. Okay, so I brought you...
Bananas.
No, ya estamos, mal empezamos. I brought you una banana y un plátano de Canarias. When I was a kid, we only had this, at least here in Madrid. Maybe in other countries, in other comunidades autónomas, maybe they already had bananas and such. But I was born in the 80s and we only had plátanos. So my surprise when I started trying bananas from, Costa Rica and other Central American countries or Latin American countries, I was so shocked about the flavor difference. But I don't even think that this has crossed your mind, especially because when you were a kid, you didn't eat fruit. Am I right?
It's just bananas.
No.
There's no.
Do you want me to give you the
There's no
difference?
difference.
Or you wanna try it?
There's banana A and banana B.
No. Plátano de Canarias that grows here in the Canary Island. And which is also a tropical weather, that's why, but it tastes different. So this one is sweeter than this one, 100%. Also, this one is a little bit juicier. This one is more like arenosa, harinosa, what do you call that? Like you can feel, try it.
Before I continue and try this,
Qué hombre más cabezota.
I'm gonna take these two, right?
The ones with the most dark
Can you
points.
tell which is which?
Sí, plátano de Canarias. Do you see all these points?
Because I'm showing you the sign. That's right. That's all.
No, I didn't see the sign.
Okay. If I take this.
Also, the plátano de Canarias usually is a little bit shorter and more curved than the banana.
Well, it's not shorter than this banana.
Well, because this one was in the fridge and it could like curl.
Okay, so if I switch these plates around and do some, you'll be able to tell which is which?
By tasting it, yes, and by looking at it as well. This is the banana, this is the plátano de Canarias.
Well, we know it. I didn't do my...
Mira. Look at that juiciness. Look at this dryness.
It looks the same.
No. Mira la surface. You have to acknowledge, as a cameraman, you have to acknowledge there is difference in the texture just by looking at it.
Slight difference. Not that much difference. I can see the details in the lines that go here.
And the softer, it looks like it has a filter on it, and this one is like raw.
I'm gonna just try it to make her happy right now. I'm gonna grab a banana. This is the banana, right?
Sí.
Okay. Banana, all day. I can see the racist jokes coming in right now from my friend on me.
That's why I cut it.
And
Plátano de Canarias.
Plátanos Canarias?
De Canarias.
De Canarias.
Es que mira el interior. Mira el interior.
So which one is supposed to be sweeter?
El plátano de Canarias. Y más cremoso.
I don't think so. I think the banana is sweeter.
Estás fatal de la cabeza.
Oh my gosh.
Estás fatal de la cabeza.
The banana has more taste.
I didn't talk about taste. I said sweetness. There's
The
more
sweet-
sweetness here than here.
No, there's more sweetness here.
No.
There's more sweetness in the banana. Then you got a bad one. You got a bad one. I'm sorry. This might just be a bad one because the banana.
Then I blame the
can
supermarket.
you can blame who
Pero
you
no,
want.
no.
But the banana's
do
cooking
you
right
feel
now.
do you feel the difference? And it's because
I-
you're accustomed to it this, just like you're accustomed to it plastic as a kid.
I'm about to turn this camera off to hide the evidence. No. I don't know. Like maybe it could be a tasting where I'm accustomed to that. Two, didn't know these things existed. Didn't know there was a difference in them. But again, I do taste the difference in them. I just feel like maybe my tongue is associated more with the banana than is associated with the ¿cómo dices otra vez?
Plátano,
Plátano de Canarias.
Canarias.
Vale.
Vale, this is like oxtail, for example. I love oxtail. El rabo me encanta.
También.
Y a ti también te encanta. When we started living together, I knew that you like oxtail. I'm like, I'm going to make you oxtail. And you love my oxtail,
Yes.
but it's not the flavor that
Yeah,
you
I'm
are
accustomed to.
accustomed to
No.
because your father was from
does West Indian like
Exactly,
oxtail
and
style.
he used to cook oxtail Trinidadian style. So obviously the flavors, the spices, and so on are different. Which brings me to a very important point, that is all these Americans and lately British people that go online and say that Spanish food is bland. And unfortunately, I have to say that there is a lot of black people saying that crap. And I get it because there's a lot of spices that you guys use that we don't. But that doesn't make Spanish food bland.
I won't say Spanish food is bland. I can never say Spanish food is bland. What I would say is that as an American, we are accustomed to a lot of condiments within our food as well. So you guys get on me about, tortilla de patatas con ketchup.
At least you don't put honey mustard or...
O también some barbecue sauce
yeah.
o otras cosas, ¿vale? Pero en Estados Unidos, vale, para mí es así, es como chocolate. Porque chocolate en Estados Unidos tiene muchas azúcar.
Sí, es mucho más dulce. Para mí es empalagoso.
Sí, empalagoso. Pero aquí tiene azúcar y, dulce, pero es no igual.
Dulce.
Dulce, gracias. Pero es no igual porque yo ¿ahí se acostumbrado?
Sí, estoy acostumbrado.
Acostumbrado para algo muy dulce y azúcar. Y chocolate aquí, depende qué chocolate, es bland for me. So I think there's that level up to where I've been accustomed to something. I've been accustomed to cocaine, but when I come here, I'm just getting a little nothing, basically. So it's that level of like, I've been a drug addict in the Estados Unidos, but...
But I can understand that perspective, right? But our thought process is that if you have a good produce, you don't need extra condiments. Yes, some sauces are nice, like we like garlic mayonnaise and we like our tomate frito and things like that. But it's always in a specific measure, right? Even we use a lot of spices.
Yes. I still think there's just that level to where we are looking for something of a taste that we have. So if I'm having something in the U.S. that I'm accustomed to, so let's say I'm just going to use steak as an example, and I come here and I have steak here, your steak doesn't have the same amount of sugar in it as in Estados Unidos.
Sí, pero
But
go ahead.
so we look for that taste. I don't think it's fair to come over here and say things are bland. Like for instance, when I went to Italy the first time, I hated the pasta. Hated the pasta. And then...
Granted, you were like, what, 18?
I was like 18, 19. But after I got accustomed to the food, because I was there for a while, when I came back to the US, I could not stand pasta in the US anymore. And I love pasta. But I realized then how much, like once you get accustomed to a taste and it's become normalized for you, then that's the taste you look for. So I came to something where it was a much higher quality and I wasn't ready for it. And after I got accustomed to it, I'm like, oh, I can't go back. I'm not going down. You must be out your mind. I think it's really cool that you guys feed kids the way you do. We don't get that. So I think that kind of shows the priority of a country in a sense of the well-being of a kid, how they grow up, how they have good eating habits and all that. We don't get that. We get a lot of sugary things, and we get accustomed to burgers and hot dogs and things like that. So when we get older, obviously this is why fast food chains are so big in the US, because we only get 20 minutes to eat our school lunch. So we already programmed, you don't got that much time. Hurry up, scarf it down. So we need food fast. All this is, it's crazy, but it's all connected.
It is all connected, 100%.
It's the behaviors as well that goes with how we eat. So we have to eat fast, we have to eat quick. So we look for things that's quick and affordable, which will obviously be fast food. So those are the things that are pressured against us. We don't have time to be healthy. And even, because if you think about it, en Estados Unidos, la comida de salud es muy caro.
La comida es saludable.
Sí.
Aquí también. Últimamente las verduras y las frutas son muy caras, pero for us it's priority.
Okay, that's the part that I don't have. We don't have that. So I would say that that is the difference. So our school lunch is just to say that you fed the kids and get back to school, and yet we're still stupid. We don't get that much time to eat. We spend all this time in school and we're still stupid. So
somebody left a comment the other day. I'm so sorry, but they said, so they don't have time to eat, but they have time to spend 6 hours in a baseball game, watching a baseball game. And I was like, that's pretty accurate. I'm sorry. Explain it to me.
Yes, please.
No se hizo la miel para la boca del asno. No se hizo la miel. Honey wasn't made for the mouth of the donkey.
Honey wasn't made for the mouth of the donkey. Is this a way of saying that I didn't make this for you? Like I made it for somebody else?
It means that for those that say Spanish food is bland, it's not that Spanish food is bland, it's that you're not prepared to enjoy the delicatessen and the wonderfulness of our food.
So it wasn't made for you. Like, you're not worthy enough for this?
You're not worthy enough. You're not prepared for it. This is too high level for you.
Oh, okay.
You know how we have talked about sometimes Americans struggle to adapt to Spanish life because it's hard to go from bad to good? Aquí está el ejemplo.
I'm smelling what you're cooking right now. I am fine agreeing that I have an ignorant American tongue that has been educated over the years, thanks to you.
You were Project 001. I'm going to ask you a last question. Do you think Spanish food is overrated?
Do I think Spanish food is overrated? No, not at all.
And say it to the camera so your compatriotas can hear you.
Oh, there's been comments like Spanish food is overrated?
Yes.
No, Spanish food is not overrated. Because you already know I have my top 2 cuisines. And it's a fight between first place. That's Spanish cuisine and Turkish cuisine. I am blown away by how extensive your cuisine is. Like the amount of things. I know when we go out, we
the
get
diversity in Spanish food is...
The diversity in Spanish food is amazing because before I've moved here and lived here and finally get to see different things, travel around Spain more and all that, Turkish food was number 1 for me. But then I always loved Spanish food and I didn't think it was as extensive as Turkish food. But then seeing all this stuff, and we got so many more spots to visit. Like when we did the RV stuff here, like I don't know how people could come here and say that Spanish food is bland.
Because they come and they go to the typical tourist spots where they give them paella at 7 p.m. and then they said, oh, this is nasty. Claro, no me jodo ves.
I gotta admit, I am looking forward to the comments. I already know they're gonna kill the U.S. school lunch. But for me personally, I want to know what it was like for you guys, like going to school. Like, what is the lunch thing like?
Yeah,
because
o si vuestros hijos o nietos o lo que sea se quedan al cole, al comedor del cole, ¿cuál es la experiencia hoy en día? Porque yo no tengo ni idea.
As an example, for me, school lunch was like an experience. Like we always had to, obviously the noise and everything. But when there was a fight at school, that's where the fights would go down. That's like the meeting point. Like,
es que vuestros colegios son como cárceles.
Like this is where like school fights happen either at lunchtime or after school.
But your schools are like jails.
Yeah, we already acknowledge that, okay? And then even that, the bullies during that time, this is when the bullies come around and start grabbing whatever you have, and that's it. I don't know if y'all go through that because Did you have that experience?
I mean, we had our fights and things, but you know, our fights is always
yeah, but
like
do you have
mouth.
the guys, the bullies that come around, like if you had chocolate milk, oh, this chocolate milk is mine or whatever, or if you had like or if you give it a chocolate chip cookie, you know, run that?
No, a lo mejor me equivoco, pero no, creo que no.
In the comments, let me know.